Yeah, man. Welcome back. It's your boy Alfred once again. And today's video, I want to talk about semen retention. I'm not approving of it or disapproving of it. See, me personally, I have used semen retention in a certain period of my time. However, not in the way that it's now being used, right? Now, semen retention, according to these YouTubers who kind of preach it, is really not be all end all to success, right? Especially success with women. So we're being told that if you're in semen retention, women do this, women do that. They see you as a viable person, a viable man to be with. They become weak and all that. No, it's not true. Of course, semen retention itself is just a way to put it in a simple way, is a way to form discipline. If you're going to do it for discipline reason, then that's good. I'll explain, right? But as far as I'm concerned, right, semen retention really is not a magic wand to have this super power and all that, as all these YouTubers are preaching. So then what you can use semen retention for, what it is best for. I'll give an example, right? It's just like back when people who wanted to start stuff, right? You wanted to be productive, you wanted to maybe start anything that you were finding hard to start. Could be a YouTube channel, could be a business. It was just a lack of discipline. So we look for motivation. I remember back then, motivation speeches, right? Motivation speakers and motivational quotes were the norm. Everyone sent each other's motivational quotes, and we'd consume a lot of motivational material from YouTube, from wherever, right? It's still there, right? However, you cannot dwell on that. To take a period of time after you've consumed enough of that, you now have to take action. You need to take action, and a lot of the underlying thing about motivation or needing motivation is the same thing with using semen retention as that. It's a lack of discipline, right? The thing is, if you need semen retention to do something, right, and then it works, it's going to work, right? Semen retention is going to work at least for the first few times you are embarking on something, because you have that newfound confidence, right? And you're actually gaining discipline of sort. And that's because people who need or who use semen retention usually are people who are wasting a lot of their time, jacking off, jizzing all over, just using that, not using the time productively, right? Most of the time they're just using it to masturbate, all that means that you're undisciplined. That's it, right? But semen retention, if you start semen retention for that reason, because you know that you've been jacking off, right? Even having sex with unnecessarily gratificating yourself, right, with women, right, rewarding yourself with women, right, knowing that you need to be doing something productive, right? Then you embark on semen retention. That's good, right? If you're jacking off or for no fucking reason, just rewinding yourself with sex and all that, right? And then you embark on semen retention. That's good. But the underlying thing there is that you have a discipline problem. So it's not that semen retention is some superpower thing. No, it's a discipline problem. So semen retention in that regard is one of the best segue to discipline, and then that's when you start being much more productive. So it's not the be-all, end-all to success, because at the end of the day, you're still gonna get sexually aroused, you're still gonna get horny. Then what do you do then? That's why a lot of people do actually relapse, because the sexual energy was not meant to be stored. Yes, I will agree, there is such a thing as sexual transmutation, right? As if you read Napoleon Hill's book, that famous one, okay, it slipped my mind, but he talks about this. He talks about sexual transmutation, using that energy to do things that you're supposed to be doing, right? And that energy can be transmuted or transferred to much more productive things instead of sitting around doing nothing, jacking off, masturbating. All that drains your energy, right? However, that does not mean that you are not going to get horny or sexual, right? It doesn't. That energy is still there. So how do you use it if you're continuously on semen retention, right? The thing is then you have to spend that energy wisely, but you still have to gratify your sexual needs. That's there, that's natural, it's something that's natural. You cannot suppress that. And unfortunately, semen retention, as far as it goes, it means that you may have to suppress some of that sexual energy, because you cannot be like productive like throughout, in and out. You still need to chill, you still need to reflex, right? To refresh rather, right? So once you have created that enough discipline, there's really no need for you to continue with semen retention, because semen retention is a best gateway, according to me, the best gateway to discipline. And that's if you know that you're wasting your energy on unnecessary things, and you want to change that. You want to be much more productive, you want to do things that are conducive, and you want to start things that can actually get you to a necessary place, right? Or be the person that you want to be, right? If you're gonna hit the gym, for example, and you know that you need that energy to lift those weights, even if it's body weight, you need energy to lift those weights, right? You're not going to waste your time jerking off. And in fact, I might even say this, that a lot of the time, semen retention, especially for those who are not even getting chicks, they're not getting with women, it's cope. People who really need that semen retention in actual fact, right, are people who are getting women, throwing the punani at them, because they're spending a lot of energy with these chicks. Then they also need to restrain from that, and that's if they understand that, okay, they need to be doing other things rather than doing that, wasting your time with women, right, who are throwing that who are easily giving them whatever they want from them, right? Because we all want times when we get sexual and get horny. Yes, we do want to fuck. However, right, you cannot be doing that in a perpetual basis while leaving out the necessary things that you have to be doing in order to be productive. That's when semen retention can come in between those sessions. So people who are continuously getting the power you thrown at them, they need that more, because it's not cope for them. This means that they just need to be much more disciplined, right, and then be much more productive, and then give less time to those who they feel like are draining their energy. Does semen retention help you on maintaining your energy? Yes, it does. The sexual energy or the just energy, yes, sure, helps you become much more productive. Definitely, it does. You become much more productive because instead of wasting that energy on unnecessary stuff, right? Cheesing, like I said, masturbating and doing all that nonsense, right? You can go out there and be much more productive. But at the end of the day, it's usually a discipline thing. It's not a superpower or anything like that. Discipline, I'd say, is the ultimate superpower. If you have a much more productive thing that you're supposed to be doing, which is very necessary, right? And then a less productive thing that would gratify your sexual need, right? And then you choose to be disciplined, right? Not to embark on the sexual gratification, right? And be much more productive with your time or whatever, with your energy. That's discipline. Because as humans, right, we tend to go towards things that give us less resistance. So that's discipline. All want pleasure, but you cannot totally eliminate pleasure from your life. You cannot. That would be cope. You'd be lying to yourself. That's why these semen retention preachers constantly talking about that, and really it's all about that. But it's just simply a discipline problem. And once you've created that discipline anyway, there's no need for you to be under semen retention. Just like the example I gave. Once you've created enough discipline to go to the gym, you don't need to be listening to all those motivational speakers. You don't. Why should you? Because now you're disciplined enough to wake up, to go to the gym, to do whatever. So create that discipline and you won't need no semen retention. Create discipline, you don't need motivational quotes. You won't be reading them all day, telling you that you need to start a business. You need to be going on your way wherever, right? You need to be productive. That discipline has to come from within. You have to create it, and it has to be from within. Then you know what you'll be doing with your time. You know what you'll be doing with your energy. That's true discipline. So don't dwell on semen retention. Otherwise, it will be a religion for you, and then it will be a cope. You just be a coping mechanism whereby you're just preaching about that because you don't see a way out. You've not created that discipline to create those fundamental motion, to create that motion to move forward. So you're dwelling on semen retention as if that's it. No, there are things beyond motivational speeches, there are things beyond motivational quotes, just as much as there are things that you're supposed to be doing beyond semen retention, and that's action. Are you taking action? So, before I close up, remember, semen retention is not a superpower. However, the semen retention, right, just like abstinence, could help you a lot. It does. That's why people have things like monk mode. Monk mode, you're just taking your time to do certain things that you know are productive for you, and then leaving out things that are unproductive, especially things that can give you instant gratification and things that are pleasurable for you, but you're not abandoning them, right? You're not abandoning those things. You're not totally taking them off. No, it's just for a period of time until you get momentum on your productivity. Get that momentum, and you get your productivity up, right? And you see, you won't need semen retention. You won't, because once you've created that discipline, you know, intuitively, you know that, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this, and that pleasure, right? Even if a chick is throwing pussy at you, right? She wants you to do what she wants. You can simply say no. You just say, no, I have something else to do at this moment, or this whole week, or the whole month. Because stay away from pleasurable things. That's discipline. And that's how you define semen retention. And not say that I'm going to go on semen retention for 3 years, for 1 year, whatever. You're just suppressing your pleasure, your pleasures. That's what you're doing. And that's why you're just going to be relapsing, right? And then you're going to lose confidence, and you're not even going to be thinking straight, because you'll be phasey. Because the thing with semen retention, right, especially if you're doing it to get away from pleasure, right, you're going to think about it. It's natural. Sex is natural. Whatever pleasure you like is natural. Something natural. You really cannot escape it. So whether you are on semen retention, right, and then thinking that for 1 year you're not going to do this, it can be done. I'm not saying this is impossible, right? But don't think that you'll be much more productive, more than someone who is disciplined enough to embark on this productivity, but then manages time to take time for his pleasurable, whatever he finds pleasurable. If it's sex, it's whatever. Don't think you'll be more productive than him. It doesn't work that way. So I hope that was understood. It's been your boy Alfred here on clarifying things on semen retention, because all these semen retention dudes are preaching it as if it's the be all end all to success. No, it's not. Create the discipline. Be disciplined in your productivity. Do it. Have time for whatever you find to be of your pleasurable, that gratify your pleasures, right? But you minimize that and don't do it so often such that it eats into your productivity. What you're supposed to be doing, putting in the work as per usual. And I'll stop there. Till next time. Peace.